I'm Megan, and thanks for joining me for this somatic practice today. I'm going to be doing some skiing, so I'm putting together this practice specifically for cross-country skiing. But what you'll find is that cross-country skiing is really a full body practice. That's what I find. But the areas that I really try to target, so we'll be working with in this shorter practice, is our feet and our ankles. The entire leg line, because really your legs, particularly your quadriceps and your hamstrings, are both getting stretched, and they're your power forward. And then we also need to balance ourselves in cross-country skiing, so the core becomes very important. We'll work on that a little bit. And then the shoulders. So we're moving those arms, right? So the shoulders as well. So even if you don't ski, this is a great full body practice and easy one to do in the morning to help you wake up for whatever it is you do enjoy doing. And remember, that's the purpose of somatics, if you ask me, is to allow you to do the things that you enjoy. So you may want to strap, otherwise most of this practice will be done lying down. Go ahead and take yourself down to a comfortable position. Let your back and spine relax. We're going to go right into it today, starting with the right leg. Bring the right leg into your body. Just pause and say hello, say good morning, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you are, to your right leg. And then you can keep the knee bent and extend it up just enough to be able to see the toes. If this causes any pain in your shoulders or your shoulders are lifting up, then go ahead and use the strap on the back of the thigh and the meaty part of the hamstrings. And first we're just going to feel our toes and find your breath. If you want to do this as a breath center practice, we would inhale and squeeze the toes towards the sole of the foot. So like you're trying to touch the tips of the toes to the bottoms of the feet, and exhale, just release. So just squeeze and release. Just a couple times, squeezing in and then releasing. And then we'll go the opposite way. So now as you inhale, spread your toes and imagine trying to touch the toenails to the tops of your feet. And then let go. And you're just noticing what muscles you feel in your foot. Squeeze it and release. And then let that go. Next we'll go into the ankle. So you're going to inhale and reach the top of the foot towards the sky. This is called plantar flexion. So the sole of the foot will be tight. And then release. And do just that a few times. Focusing on the right leg. Right ankle, specifically moving from the right ankle. So it's all about where we initiate this movement. Now try to keep the toes soft. And then we'll go the opposite direction. So as you inhale, draw the top of the foot towards your shin. And exhale and release. Inhale, top of the foot towards your shin. And now you're really getting into some of those powerful muscles that are going to bring you forward. You're going to feel your calf and your shin as you move your ankle. Do one more there. And then take that foot in very slow, purposeful circles, or that ankle, excuse me. Move from your ankle, but feel your whole foot. Because it's really important when we ski. It's the same as when we walk, but really when we ski, we're balancing from our pelvis, but the feet are feeding the pelvis with all the information. The feet are turning the muscles on, and then switch the direction of the circles. Very simple. And then relax that foot down just for a moment. So next we'll go into the knee joint. So part of this is what I call my body prayer practice. We go through the joints in the legs, but we're just going through it a little bit quicker and a little bit more specifically for skiing. So now you're going to go in and out of your knee. Think of your knee, it's a hinge joint. And instead of having the thigh back here, you want to push the thigh forward so that your thigh is 90 degrees from your spine or 90 degrees from the floor. Keep your foot relaxed, so we're not holding our leg up. Let it relax. And as you breathe in, extend upward through the lower leg, but I'm not pushing through my heel or my foot. I'm letting my knee do the work. Inhaling into extension as far as you can go comfortably. There's those hamstrings, or you might feel your calf stretch. Exhale, drop back down. Inhaling up into extension, just waking up your muscles. Notice what you can feel when you feel the front of the thigh engage and the back stretch. And think of your knee as the joint that joins the upper and lower leg. We'll do one more of those. And then this time we're going to stop and we're going to pause. So you're going to keep that leg in extension if it's comfortable. Make sure it's not back here. Push the thigh bone into the strap. So I'm using my strap now because if I weren't using it, you might find yourself up here and that's not going to help your shoulders and your neck any. So push the thigh bone forward into the strap. Now take the foot into what we call the plantar flexion. So top of the foot towards the sky. We're going to back into the ankles, but now you'll feel more through the whole leg line. And move your toes again. So I'm going to keep the ankle, the front of the ankle open. I might feel some tightness through my calf, my Achilles, and just move the toes. And this one can be interesting. Just wiggling the toes. Notice what you feel through your whole leg line. And then we're going to switch the position of the ankle. Draw the top of the foot towards the shin, so that's the dorsal flexion. Keep the ankle in that position. And again, just move your toes. So now you'll feel the calf stretching out in the back of the ankle. You might feel some tightness through your shin. Notice what you feel through the upper leg. I'm just playing with moving the toes. Notice it from the arch of the foot, the heel, the ball mount of the foot. You can move just your big toe if you want. And then make those circles again, but with the leg extended. And now you get more of a feel of how the foot movement affects the entire leg. Can you feel it all the way into your thigh? Switch the direction of the circles if you'd like. And we'll drop that down. Let it come down. Then we'll go into the right hip a little bit. So we want to widen our feet so the heels are as wide as the outer hips. And your left leg's going to stay put, kneecap up towards the sky. But you're going to inhale and draw the right thigh bone inward and forward. So that's an internal rotation. You'll feel a nice stretch across the top of that thigh because that back leg gets a big stretch in cross-country skiing. And as you exhale, come up. And just that a couple times. Inhale, come in and forward. So like I'm drawing my nice big thigh bone forward towards the left corner of the mat. And exhale back. And moving from, you can think of moving from your hip. But you could also, this is why I like doing this one for skiing, is initiate the movement from your foot. So roll onto the pinky toe side of the foot to come out of it. Roll onto the big toe side of the foot to come into it. Notice if that feels different than moving from your hip or how you were involuntarily starting this movement. Make that first part the voluntary part. So you're really controlling how you're coming into it and then coming back out. Then we'll walk the feet together so the big toes are touching. And we're going to go the opposite way with that right hip. So now as you inhale, just drop the right hip out to the side. You're going to get that inner groin stretch. So that's really important if you do any sort of skate skiing. And then as you exhale, draw in. So this is going to be a little more action to draw in. That's the work here because you're going against gravity. Inhaling, the leg will naturally drop, but go slow. Exhale, feel the inner thigh muscles. You can even draw your abdomen if you feel that. Inhale, drop the leg out. Again, I'm keeping my left leg still and trying not to let the whole pelvis rock around. The pelvis is staying centered. I'm just moving from my hip crease out to the side there. We'll do one more with the right leg, feeling into the pelvis too. So we're feeling the connection point of the leg into the pelvis. And then stopping, and then just pick that right leg up and make some nice circles with the hip. However you want to do that. You can keep the lower leg just dangling. Or sometimes I like to lift the leg and do circles with a long leg and also play with moving my toes and my ankle. So we've got several joints in here to enjoy. And you can switch the direction of the circles, either with that bent leg or the straight leg. Just waking it up. Spine is relaxed. Jaws are soft, shoulders supported. Just focusing on the right leg. And then let that leg come in for a landing. Slide both legs out long, and we will pause just for about 10 breaths. And just feel yourself, your right leg, your left leg. See if you can notice any difference. Is there more a difference of awareness of the space from the toes to the hip in one leg or the other? Is there a tingling sensation, or is one warmer, cooler, heavier, lighter? So this is embodying that right leg so that we're we're ready to get on it and have some fun. Again, doing the things that you love to do with joy and without pain or concern that you can't balance or you're not strong enough. Sometimes we have to give our body the benefit of the doubt, right? And help it out with a little somatics. And then we'll slide the legs back in so the knees are bent again. We're going to go into the left leg. So draw the left leg towards you. Give it a little hug. Say good morning, good afternoon, whatever your time zone is. And then we'll extend just enough to be able to see the toes. Although what I try to do is I see the toes and then I close my eyes because I don't want to do the movement from looking at it. I want to do it from feeling it. And I'm just going to inhale and squeeze the toes towards the sole of the foot and exhale and release. So squeezing them, you'll feel the top of the toe joints open up a little bit, the top of the foot. Exhale, release. My ankle is in a natural, relaxed pattern. So I'm not pushing my ankle or moving my ankle. I'm simply moving my toes. And sometimes it's more difficult to isolate this movement, just moving toes. But you want to really feel all the muscles in the sole of the foot tighten and then release. So the voluntary part is squeezing the toes on the inhale. The involuntary is release back to your natural space, and then we'll go the opposite direction. As you inhale, spread the toes, draw them towards the top of the foot, and exhale, release. Keep the ankle still, spreading the toes. And I find these foot movements are really important with any sort of skiing too, downhill skiing as well, because we have been wearing shoes so much more, right, in the winter time. But you still, even though your feet are going to be locked in these heavy duty boots, you got to be able to feel your feet. And relax that. We'll move into the ankle. So feeling your ankle from the top of the ankle joint. As you inhale, stretch the top of the ankle joint. You might feel some tightening through your calf and the back of your Achilles. Exhale, let go. Inhale, stretch it out, top of the ankle. Exhale, release. And I actually did these this morning when I first woke up, and I can tell I already did them. Inhale and reach. Exhale, release. It's always a testament to how important these simple movements are. Mostly for our brain to understand and to feel. And then we'll go the opposite way. So as you're inhaling, you're going to draw the top of the foot towards your shin. Maybe press through your heel a little bit. Here comes that stretch for your Achilles and your calf, tightening through the shin. And release. So focusing on moving from the ankle, toes stay soft. Rest of the leg is still. Like you want to touch the top of your foot to your shin bone and let it go. And now we'll play with some circles, nice and slow. Pick one direction first. And notice I'm not circling my ankle from my leg. My leg is staying still. Isolate that movement into your ankle. Think of drawing smiley faces with your foot if you'd like. And you can switch the direction of the circles. And then we'll let the ankle relax from those ones. So we're going to be going into the knee, the left knee. And I like to use my strap for that because my leg is no longer going to be back here. We need to push the thigh bone forward. So kneecap is pointing, the top of the kneecap is straight up towards the sky. And the thigh is 90 degrees from the floor or 90 degrees from your spine. So use that strap. Make sure the strap's not behind your knee joint, that it's behind the belly of the hamstrings, that nice, big, strong, meaty part of your hamstrings. Let the lower leg dangle. I'm going to put this down just to get it out of your way. And then as you inhale, extend up, keeping the foot relaxed and the ankle. I noticed that first one when I went up, if I'm not paying attention, I'll feel my ankle tighten. I really want to keep my ankle joint soft. Move from the knee and exhale, slowly back down. Inhale, extension. You'll notice that the effort is on the extension on this one. The exhalation, you can slowly take it down. Because if you just let gravity have its way, it's going to look like that. You're going to end up kicking yourself in the butt. So go slow. Reach up into that full extension. You're opening the back of your knee. Feel your front of your thigh engage. Slowly release down. Just this hinge joint. Hopefully my microphone is not picking it up, but this is my knee that creaks and cracks. I just say it's playing beautiful music for me. Do you have any knees, the joints that make music for you? And going in and out one more time. And then this next time we're going to keep it extended. And we're going to take the ankle into the plantar flexion. So you're reaching the top of the foot towards the sky. Front of the ankle feels like it's stretching, shin stretching. Keep it like that. And oh boy, just move your toes. Maybe I didn't do this already this morning. And just keep your awareness. And instead of staring at them, it's really easy to stare at your toes, right? Close your eyes and feel it. Feel whatever you feel through your leg line. Can you feel it in the lower leg, the upper leg? Do you feel it all the way to your hip? And just playing with moving your toes. You can move just your big toe. And then we'll switch the position of the ankle. Relax it for a moment. Then purposely draw the top of the ankle towards the shin. Everything in this practice is so purposeful. And then begin to play with the toes again. So we're in dorsiflexion, almost like you're pushing your heel up towards the sky and moving the toes. You might feel a nice stretch to the back of the leg now. Just playing and playing with that. And you can now make some circles too if you'd like. So feeling how the movement of the ankle affects the foot and the entire left leg. You can switch the direction of the circles. I would typically have my eyes closed this whole time, just helping me to get in touch with my feet, to feel my feet, so that when we're walking, skiing, whatever we're doing, we don't feel like we have to look at them, right? We don't have to look at our feet when we walk. And then we'll relax that down. If you're using the strap, remove the strap. I'll turn so you can see the leg. You guys can stay right where you are. So turning the opposite direction. My feet are going to go a little bit wide again, just slightly wider than my hips is what the position I like. Working with this left leg and hip. As you breathe in, you're going to draw the inner thigh forward, so you're tipping onto the big toe side of the foot. Imagine trying to draw your whole femur bone towards the front right corner of the mat. Right leg is staying where it is, and I'm not shifting onto the right hip. I'm keeping my pelvis on the ground, both sides. And then coming back up on exhale. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, come back. So just as important, or more important than what we're doing, is how we're doing it. We're doing it with full awareness of feeling and sensations, muscles, bones. Check to see you're not building tension anywhere else in your body, your shoulders, your neck. Reaching forward. Let's do one more in this internal rotation, or take a few more, because I forgot to mention, remember we can move from the hip, or imagine making this movement from your foot. Roll onto the big toe side of the foot, and then on to the little toe side. Whoop, went too far. Let your foot do the movement and your ankle, and then come back. So now we'll walk the feet together until the big toe side of the feet are touching. Make sure your low back is relaxed, your shoulders. Feel this left inner thigh, and as you breathe in, you're going to drop just the left thigh out to the side, right knee staying up towards the sky. I'm not going to roll onto the left hip. I'm going to try to keep both sides of the pelvis grounded, but I'm dropping open on the inhale. And then hugging in, feel the inner thigh muscles. You might feel your abdominal or actually pelvic floor muscles too can help out as I squeeze back in on the exhale. Inhale, drop it out to the side. Exhale, squeeze in. So those are your adductor muscles. You want to feel them stretch a little bit as you drop open with gravity slowly, and feel them engage to lift the weight of the leg back up. But also notice the role that your foot and your ankle play. You're falling onto the pinky toe side and then coming back up onto that big toe side. Should feel nice. Just a warm up to get us ready to do what we love to do. A warm up and a wake up. And then coming back. Then we'll do those circles, and you can lift your foot off the floor, let the lower leg dangle. Think of circling from your hip crease. Easy round. Each time you can make that circle a little bigger. Explore your range of motion in the left hip. You can keep that lower leg dangling, or if you want to do it with a little more pizzazz, you can extend your leg. More sensation there, more stretching going on. But still, remember the cue with the somatics is slow, mindful movements. So if you're doing the full leg or bent leg, we're not just throwing around our leg. It's really easeful. You actually have to work, you're going to find you have to work harder if you go slower, because your core muscles have to support that leg a little bit longer. And you can switch the direction. And then let it come down. Let's take both legs long again. We'll take about a 10 breath break. Just feeling now again from your toes to your hips, because we're going to be moving into the hips and specifically into the abdomen. So feel your legs for a few breaths and notice how you're naturally breathing. Again, sense any tingling, warmth, heaviness or lightness, long or short, anything you can feel in your legs. What can you see from your toes to your hips? And what can't you see? And we're going to place our hands on the belly, because we're going to need some belly breath for this next one. If your low back is arching and too uncomfortable, you can go ahead now and bend your knees and place your feet on the floor. But we're going to begin a belly breath, and that might be helpful. So you can place your feet on the floor into constructive rest. So now my hips are aligned with my knees and my knees with my ankles. And I'm just going to take a nice big breath in and notice that my abdomen rises. And then as you exhale, it'll naturally empty. So just a natural passive out breath. We start with that, but then what I would like you to do is on your exhalation, imagine all of the skin on your belly from the two hip points, from the navel center down to the base of your spine, drawing in. So make it, instead of a passive exhalation, imagine drawing your abdominal wall in. And one of the ways you can do that is to push the low back slightly into the ground as you do that and lift your tailbone. So there's this pelvic, what we're doing is tilting the pelvis back. So top of the rim of the pelvis will come towards your navel center. Or you can think of it as you exhale, you're shortening the space from your navel center to your pubis, and you're feeling that tightening all around the clock face of your navel center, the lower abdomen. And then inhale, breathe into the belly, release that pelvic tilt. You might even feel yourself tilting forward. Exhale, draw in. So this is the pelvic tilt, but I'm having you focus on, if you see this in all my videos, it's in almost all my videos, it's so important, but I'm having you focus on the exhalation and the drawing in of the core. The other thing we might be able to find is inhalation is stretching the abdomen, is also stretching your pelvic floor muscles, that diamond shape. As you exhale, you're going to draw in through the pelvic floor and the abdomen. So these become really important when we're doing anything strenuous that takes balance, that takes forward motion, i.e. cross-country skiing. These are some part of your four deep core muscles that really support your body, and they're meant to know what you're going to do next. So feeling that space in the core engaging, and then we're going to move right along into working a little bit more into the core. So now as you exhale, we'll do just left leg first. You're going to bring the left leg to 90 degrees. So 90 degrees is here. Kneecap over the hip, thigh bone 90 degrees from the floor, shin bone parallel to the floor. So it's not back here. That's a little bit of a cheat. So we want to go right to 90 degrees on the exhale. And then as you inhale, just drop that foot back down where it started. Let your belly fill. And then we'll switch. Exhale, right leg, 90 degrees. Press the low back down. So if you're lifting that leg and your back is arching, you want to make sure you're pressing out the low back and drawing the navel center in. Inhale, drop the foot down. Exhale, 90 degrees. So just like imagine you're walking in place or marching, and then you're exhaling and lifting up that leg with your core. Inhale, drop it down. You can feel your low back arch a little bit. So I don't know if you can see that in the camera. And then as I exhale, I'm going to press out that arch, lift up the leg. Let's do one or two more of these like we're marching in place. Just feeling the connection of your legs to your core center. That's where you're going to find your balance. And like I said, those 4D core muscles that really read your body. One more round. You might start to build a little bit of heat in the belly. And then draw the knees into your chest. Feel free to rock a little bit on your low back. We're going to do another round of core. So feet to the floor. You want to find the 90 degrees. And this time we're going to stay there. So I'm going to lift my feet up to the 90-degree position. Make sure you feel long through your low back. So I like to lift my pelvis and then reach it towards the front of the mat. And you're going to keep, what I do is I keep my hands up like buffers. Because if I don't have my hands here, my thighs tend to fall back. And there's a lot more work to be done if you keep those thighs straight up and down. So hands can be your stopping point. And now, as you inhale, you're going to dip the toes down to the ground. You can start with left leg if you'd like. As you exhale, come back to that stopping point. Inhale, dip the right toes. Feel the belly fill. The back might arch a little bit. Exhale, press the low back down, draw the leg up from the navel center. So imagine you're pulling in that leg from your abdomen. Connect your leg to all of those front body muscles. Let the low back lengthen as you lift the leg up. Inhale, toes to the ground. Exhale, lift up. So I'm not a big one into sit-ups because I really like to do more finessing for these 4D core muscles. A lot of times we think we're using our abdominal muscles, and really what we're getting is the six-pack ab or maybe even our obliques. But this is the transverse abdominis, which is this big corset of muscles across the front of the belly. The deepest layer, really important, and also that pelvic floor area, those 3 layers of pelvic floor. Inhale, touch the toes down. Exhale, draw in. So if this is going well, remember you can always take a break, and you want a little more challenge, then we can go to keeping this 90-degree angle. Inhale, extend the leg out, push off through your heel like you're a piston leg, and then exhale, come back, draw in through your navel center. Inhale, push off with the right leg. Exhale, draw in. And that's a really important thing because in skiing, we have this point where we push off. We push from the heel through the ball of the foot. Exhale, come back. Remember, as you're coming back, you want to lift the tailbone, press low back into the ground. So you're feeling that core action. Inhale, belly releases and fills, pelvic floor stretches. Exhale, draw the leg in. This should let you build a little bit of heat. And I know you'll often see people do something like this and they're moving really fast, and that builds heat too, but this is about awareness of waking the muscles up. Are they actually working for you? You can even keep your hands there, right? Can you feel your abdominal muscles drawing in on the exhale, expanding on the inhale? Nice. Last round. And then let that go. Relax. Feel free to hug your knees into your chest if that feels best. We haven't taken a full body yawn in this practice yet, so if you want to do that, take a full body yawn and stretch it all out. Make noises. Get excited for whatever it is that you're doing this practice for, right? I mean, you can be excited about the practice itself, but what is the purpose? What is it that brings you joy? I hope the practice does, but I hope that this also allows you to do things that bring you even more joy. So now, as I mentioned, we also do some shoulders. Shoulders and arms are really important when we cross-country ski. So we're going to go back to moving from the leg, but we're going to add some arm into it. I'm going to do my left leg first since it's facing you. So my feet are slightly wider than my hips. And as I breathe in, I'm going to draw that left leg in like we were doing before, but now I'm going to reach the left arm overhead just to get a little more side body stretch. So we're getting more into the upper torso. Feel that. You can turn your head towards your left shoulder if you'd like. And then as you exhale, slide the arm down and come back with the leg. So one of the things that won't be obvious to see is as I'm sliding my arm up, I'm externally rotating the arm. So I'm rolling the arm bone away from my heart. Palm will go up and then roll away as the leg is reaching in. That's the top of my inhale right there. I can feel the arch through my left side body. Exhale, come back. Your head might roll towards your shoulder on the inhale. And back on the exhale. We'll do one more. reaching. And if at any point you want to just stop and hold, breathe into your left side, you can do that too. It's beginning to get that connection of the arm into the torso. Feel your torso muscles stretching open, left thigh, and then come back. We will do the right side. So feel the space of your right side. And when you're ready, so you're going to still, I'm going to turn so you can see you're going to still externally rotate that arm bone. Externally rotating and then reaching. Thigh coming in, arm coming overhead. Exhale, slide the arm down, leg back. Inhale, reaching. So imagine your hip and your armpit trying to pull away from one another. Stretching the meat on the bones. And relax as you exhale. Just come back to your natural space of relaxation. Inhale and lengthen, stretch. Exhale, relax. One or two more in movement if you'd like, or stop and hold. And that's it. We're going to go back to core since we warmed up the arms. So take your feet, make sure you're in that constructive rest pose again where hips, knees, and ankles are in a straight line. Take your hands to the base of the skull and make a little basket of your hands. Let your low back relax. Remember the pelvic tilting we did earlier. We're going to go back into that. But now as you inhale, press your elbows into the ground or the backs of your arms and your shoulder blades so you'll feel more of your back arch. Your upper back will arch away from the floor too, and you can take the tailbone into the ground. So we think of pushing the tailbone and the shoulder blades and the backs of the arms into the ground. Feel how the back arches away from the ground. The front body is stretched. As you exhale, push the low back, low ribs into the ground, lift the tailbone, lift the arms, and squeeze a little bit. We're just going to squeeze first. Inhale, arch, press arms down. Exhale, curl. Lift tailbone, lift shoulders. And then if it feels okay, you're going to inhale, arch. And then keep the gaze straight up towards the sky. So not tucking the chin towards the chest, but keep the crown of the head reaching back. And then squeeze in. And inhale, open up. Exhale, close. Inhaling and opening. And exhaling and closing. So what you want to notice is on the inhalation, the front body muscles are expansive and stretching. Back body muscles are contracted. On exhalation, the front body muscles, you're shortening the space from your tailbone to your collarbones. There's some tightness there. And the back body is stretching. So full body movement. Inhaling and stretching it out. And exhaling and closing up. Do one more if you'd like. And then let go. Feel free again to hug your knees into your chest. Take a full body yawn or stretch. And we've got one more movement, but we're going to be rolling onto our side. I will roll onto my right side first since that's where I am. And you can do the same. Roll onto your right side. If you want a pillow or something underneath your head, please feel free to do that. So this one is going to get us a nice stretch of the back leg and get the legs moving more like they would in skiing. But also we're going to create a rotation and get some stretching through the arms. So you're going to take your left hand and place it on your belly. Bring your legs up so that they're slightly bent, but that bottom leg is helping you to balance. So your left hip is staying stacked on top of your right. As you breathe in, you're going to stretch that top leg behind you. And you can point the toes, right? Reach the toes and reach. So think of reaching the top of your ankle, your knee, and your hip are all in extension. And then we're also going to slide the left arm overhead. So full extension of that left side. And when you're ready to come out of it, the exhalation, your hand will come back to the rib cage. You're going to bring that left leg forward, squeeze it in. So you want to even draw the top of the foot towards your shin, and then just roll your left shoulder to the ground behind you. So you're coming into a little rotation. And for now, so I was on my arm here, but I like to just let my head drop. If your head won't drop, you will want some sort of support underneath it. So I'm inhaling into the reach, press through the ball mount of that left foot, reach through the left hand. Exhale, hand back to the waist. So I'm not going to let the hand flop back. I'm hand to the waist, draw in through the leg, and rotate with the waist. Inhaling and reaching. And exhale into the rotation. This is really one of my favorite movements for just about anything we do in life. Allowing the body, the upper body and lower body, to go in opposite directions. So as the left leg comes to the right side of the mat, left arm drops to the left, and then the left leg reaches towards the front left corner and the arm reaches towards the back right corner. It should feel really nice. Torso, arms, and legs all moving together. Almost getting that pumping action. Rotation through the spine. Last round. Enjoy. And relaxing. You can pause on your side for a moment. You can stay on your side. I need to switch. Well, you're going to need to switch onto your side, but I need to make sure I can see you. You can see me. Coming on to the right side. Excuse me, coming on to the left side. Right side is your top side. Whichever one you didn't do yet. And pausing for a moment. So you want to keep a slight bend in the knees, keeping the right hip stacked on top of the left. Just feel the whole leg line. And when ready, as you breathe in, you want to stretch that out. So reach through the toes, top of the ankle open. Reach through the knee and reach through the hip. And I'm lifting my foot about up to the height of the hip. So I don't want to keep it way down here. I don't want it way up. I like to keep it, you can play with different distances, but I like to keep it in line, my ankle in line with my hip, because that's where we would be, right? We want to always keep those joints in line. Knee with the hip and knee with the ankle. That's the best structure for joints. And then you're also reaching your hand. That's your inhale. Oh, lovely right ribs. And then as you breathe out, you're going to take your hand to your ribs, squeeze that thigh in. So you can even use your core, the core muscles we were using before, right? Squeeze in through your abdomen, but then drop that right shoulder blade. Let your head roll along with the shoulder blade. So you're rotating. Inhaling and opening up. Stretch, breathe into the right lung, feel it lift, feel all that space through your right side. Exhale, draw in through the abdominal wall as well as rotating, squeeze the thigh in. Stretching and expanding that right side as you breathe in. And then feel like you're coming back in, contracting as you breathe out. Feel the rotation through the spine. One or two more rounds if you'd like. Just to finish up. And you can always stop and hold and pause anywhere you want. Just breathe into it. And then come back. Feel free to lay on your side or on your back for a few breaths. This is a skiing video, so for me, I'm going to take a short seated rest. And I'm going to get out there while my body's awake and alert and alive. I hope we had some fun learning to connect your mind to different parts of your body that for me helped me to ski, but it may help you to do any other things you love to do, bike, walking, running, full body practice. Peace, joy, love, and light. Namaste.